I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jesse.
We're Cannabis School. Having cannabis-infused conversations
With everyday people,
cannabis companies,
celebrities,
and your mom.
welcome to the Sesh.
It's, honestly, it's like one of those, it's almost too good to be true. So we want to dive into it. We really want to learn more about like his journey, what he's gone through, his experiences, and ultimately where his life has gotten him to today, so that you out there could go, man, maybe that's something that's gone on with me, or that's nuts. I need to learn more about that. So Al, thank you so much for coming to join us here on the show. Tell us, how long have you been using cannabis?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on the show. And I've been using cannabis since 1987, since I was 21 years old. Yeah.
Oh, damn, the year I was born.
Yeah, wow.
That's a long time. That's a long time to be consuming cannabis.
So what's been like the biggest change that you've seen within the cannabis world from early on to now? I mean, other than legalization.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, and the availability of it, because back then, because I was involved, like, in the industry heavy duty for years and years and years, and like the availability, like you only have green bud like during Christmas season, basically
Right after harvest.
Yeah, like October, November through, like, depending on how much people grew to like March, maybe April or May, and then you'd have the dirt weed, the brick weed, after through the summer, and try to wait for the fall again. Biggest thing.
That's rough. That sounds like it would be a kind of a brutal experience.
But it was what it was, right? So you was just like, hey, this is what we know we got during this time, and it was something you look forward to around the fall time. But still, it'd be great if it was year round.
Yeah. So we're going to jump a little bit into kind of your story with it.
Really interested.
When you were, how old was it that they found markers for glaucoma?
When I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
They said you have the markers for glaucoma, and you'll probably go blind one day because there is no cure.
Yeah. That's in 6th grade, though. That's a very young age to...
Yeah, I'm wondering, were your parents super involved? I mean, my parents were boomers, and they were involved as much as they could, latchkey kid and all that. But were your parents pretty involved about that? Was it scary for your mom, for your father?
We never taled about it.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and they were born in the 20s, and I'm 59, and in the 70s, that's what that was the 70s, right?
Yeah.
There was no internet, no nothing. Like the doctor just told me about it, and that was it. I didn't really,
go to the library and search in the encyclopedia to learn more about it.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that because they said it wouldn't happen until I was like later on in life, like way later. So
when was later on in life when you started to notice that vision started to change?
Well, when I was when I was exactly 30 years old, I went to for my yearly checkup or whatever, and the doctor said your glaucoma is active now, and you'll probably go blind one day because there is no cure. Same exact story.
How long from 30 was it till you started noticing that you actually couldn't see anymore?
I started losing it in my early 40s. Yeah, and then it started, as I went into my 40s, it started, losing it more rapidly. The way glaucoma works is you lose your peripheral vision and it goes into like a tunnel vision. And at the same time, there's things like where lights turn into like these starbursts, like a crazy disco show, like the old ladies that wear those welding shades.
Yeah,
That's why they wear them, because they can't have light come in at any point, or else it'll be just like this crazy like starburst of
laser light show.
It's like looking through the windshield with no windshield wipers on in the rain, just sitting on there.
Oh, with like lights coming toward you.
It's super disorienting. My vision's going a little bit, and I'll notice that far away lights are kind of like, they look like stars, like in paintings. But the what you're describing, it's just any light coming in, it's so distorting. and so disorienting.
Yep. And then there's like fog that happens in some people, and like little holes like Swiss cheese, like where you see here but you can't see here. There's like a bunch of different things that happen. I went through all of it, and then I went blind.
So you went blind. You got it to the point where you were talking about that tunnel vision. Got to that point where you can really even function.
Yeah. In my right eye, I went completely blind, and I started losing it in my left, and I was able to figure out how to get my eyesight back, and so I could see pretty much full field of vision in my left eye, and my right eye has probably about 60%, like where I could see like some of the peripheral vision out here and from up here and stuff like it isn't there. But I passed my driver's test like 2 years ago when I moved from California to Arizona, and I was scared about that, and they gave me a license till 2030.
That's impressive, though.
Wow.
Like that you have that far back. So you lost it totally out of one eye. Was it totally gone out of both eyes?
No, it was like compromised in my left eye, and totally gone in my right.
Was that frightening?
It was totally frightening. Yeah, it was crazy, and people around you don't know how to react to you because you're still like look like you and you look healthy, but you just can't see, and like it's nuts.
Did you have like a cane and all that? Did you have to start learning all of this? At least you started going into that, going, okay, I guess this is my life, or what were you doing? I mean, you had sight in one eye. Yeah, he wasn't using a cane, but it really distorted your perception of the world around you, right?
Yeah. And like the story I say is sort of like a quick story, but the way it actually happened is in 2013, like I was losing my eyesight really bad, and I had hardcore migraines too. Like there's one glaucoma has pain and one doesn't. One's just like the silent thief. I have the one that has pain, and I went into daily migraines. It was like sucked, right? And I found out about Rick Simpson oil because I'd been trying everything, and I was like from 30 to about 47 years old. 47 is when I found the Rick Simpson oil, and I was like, hey, like researching it, because I do research really well, and saw for cancer and chronic pain or whatever, but nothing for glaucoma. And I was like, okay, well, the first person that got the okay from federally from the federal government in 1977 in the United States was for glaucoma. So I was like, maybe this will work, and because I was always just with herbs, before, and not with the oils. So I did the oils for about 3 years, and like the first night that I did it, I woke up the next day without a headache, right? With no migraine.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if I could just have that, I'll continue to do it. And that's what, so I did it every day, from then on. And that's what enabled me to figure out how to save my eyesight. So at that point, I was just getting it from other people, and I was able to stop it from advancing and not really make it better. And then they started fucking up, basically, and making bad oil that wasn't therapeutically active anymore, but it still got you high. It looked like Rick Simpson oil, and it still got you high. So I thought, like,
it's working.
I'm done. I'm done. It's not going to work for me anymore. And then I figured out that they were just like overcooking it or doing whatever, taking out the therapeutic benefits of it. So I started going blind right away. I it was crazy, like way quicker than previously, than the 3 years before. And my friend worked for Open and Vape, which was in Colorado. It was like the biggest oil company at the time, and he was the California rep. And I was like, hey, I don't know what to do. Like these guys oil whatever and is not good. And he's like, hey, I'm at Target right now, which he was about a half hour from my house. He goes, come meet me. I'm buying something for my daughter for her birthday, but you need my shit. Come over and meet me in the parking lot. And like he just hooked me up with all these syringes and like vape pens and all kinds of stuff. I was like, it just like a whole like thing full. And he goes, whenever if you need more, whatever. And I started getting my vision back that way. But their oil was okay. And then I started making it myself. And whatchamacallit. But during that process is when I went blind. So I was blind for about like 2 weeks or something like that, And
what was the hardest thing for you in going blind for those 2 weeks? What was the biggest, aside from just being blind?
Oh, everything. I mean,
and how you felt, like,
brushing your teeth.
what was that
taking a
emotional
shit.
change that shifted? Like, what was different emotionally for you?
Well, being scared that this one was going to go blind quickly,
Yeah.
because it was like, holy shit, because like I would just always check, because you always check when you have glaucoma, when you're starting to lose your eyesight, you'll like wake up and you'll check, and like just throughout the day, you'll like your good eye and your bad eye, whatever. And so I was just always checking, like, is the joke over? Like, is it over? And when I was able to get the material to make my own RSO, I just started like macro dosing that shit. I just like taking like a gram or more a day, and then
Cancer patient style.
and then as soon as like whatchamacallit, one day I walked. It was like 1 a.m. I walked into my like little home office, and I looked at the computer screen, and there was like a video on there, and I covered my good eye, to see if I could see anything, and I saw shadows. Like I didn't see anything. I just saw like these little like gray shadows, and I was like, I know I'm gonna get my eyesight back now. And I just started doing everything right, like eating right, everything, and just taking those massive amounts. And I slowly got it back. I actually did it the first like 100 days of it. I made a video every day documenting the progress, because things were changing daily, getting my eyesight back. I called it glaucoma hope.
What is your dose today to manage and maintain that same level of eyesight or eye visibility?
It's high. It's 600 to 1,000 milligrams a day.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, that's a good amount. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you said something there that I really want to emphasize. So you said you started changing your life. You started to eat right. What does that mean?
It is, well, I'm in health and wellness, and I've written programs and books on how to eat well. So it's just eating things that don't have a bunch of toxins, no processed foods and things like that, And actually, I even stopped drinking, all those kinds of things. But like I do like organic foods. I'm all plant-based now. I have been since 2003, so over 20 years. And so so organic, biodynamic foods, like beyond organic and stuff like that, and like superfoods. You got really heavy into the superfood movement, all that.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So both, your compounded, your formula that you've been creating and living a healthy lifestyle. I mean, you started seeing shadows. You must have been like doing backflips.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super awesome. Yeah, definitely. One other thing that I take that's really awesome is this stuff called shilajit.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a mineral, and I actually
Tell me more. Shilajit?
I developed a liquid form of it, because it's a tar, like liquid substance from the Himalayas. It's plant-based matter that's been compressed over thousands of years. And it's basically all 85 minerals and trace elements, plus the stuff called humic acid and fulvic acid, which is super awesome for you. And it helps to make the minerals 100% bioavailable, so you could, uptake them into your body and utilize them for good, all of them, and other nutrients as well. But like minerals, everybody is mineral deficient, and it's been like the shilajit Ayurvedic masters say it gives you life force energy, over thousands of years, whatever, in their scripts. But it's been proven in clinical studies to increase the health of your mitochondria, right? So cell function, like that, your mitochondria is the energy powerhouse of your cell. So for people that have any kind of malfunction, like me, they have like auto
immune disorders,
kind of things. Yeah, and then people like with cancer, they say is a malfunction in your mitochondria. So that's why this stuff's awesome. And I actually developed a liquid form of it, because usually this tar, and it's even harder to deal with. It looks almost exactly like RSO, like this black tar, but it's really hard to get out of the jar and deal with. And people like with cancer and rheumatoid arthritis, and people that have glaucoma that can't see well, that are in later stages, it's hard for them to deal with that. So I just made a tincture for them. It's crystal activated water.
That's cool. So if all your products disappeared tomorrow, the oils, the websites, your formulations, who would Al be?
In 3 days, to 4 days, I go into daily migraines and chronic pain. I was a power lifter, so I have like other issues that I used to have that I don't have anymore. And then within a week, I go blind.
A week.
Wow.
That's
So,
crazy.
so I'll be blind and curled up in a bed in pain.
Wow. Within a week. So take me to that moment when you were first like looking at a computer screen, looking at covering at your good eye and seeing shadows. How long was it from that time till when you actually felt like you had full visibility, like to where you're at now? What was that journey like?
Well, like I mentioned, I did like 100 videos in 100 days, and it probably took about a year, somewhere around there.
It's quite a journey.
It's not like where you just take it. Like some people will take CBD or RSO or whatever, and like their anxiety goes away like that, or my back pain's gone. It's like with glaucoma, it's like you try to stop it, first from advancing more, and then you try to slowly get it better, and it's a bitch. Like because one time in 2017 or 2018, I was working with a farm in Colorado, and they sent my material to make the RSO to the wrong address, and then it was stolen from that address. And I didn't have anything. Like I was out and I didn't know who to go to. So I was literally driving to the farm in Colorado from California and going blind at the same time, just to get the material to make it right. And it was crazy. And so I actually went blind again, and it took, because I had forgotten that the macro dosing part of it. So I was just doing like 400 milligrams here and there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get my eyesight back. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? and then after like 5 or 6 months, I finally figured it out. Because like I went to Home Depot. I was living in Hollywood, California, and I went to Home Depot on Sunset Boulevard one day, and I was like, my right eye was gone, and I'm in the elevator, and all of a sudden my left eye like just went into these shimmers, like, and I was looking at this poster, and I couldn't see out of either eye, and I was just standing there in Home Depot, like, they're like, may I help you? I'm good, like. Finally, it started like coming back, a little bit short, and I made it home, and I was like, fuck, and I was like, wait a minute, and I started thinking, and I'm like, oh yeah, I used to do like a gram, a day and stuff like that, so I started doing that, and it came back, but it took like at that time it took 2 years
to get it back from that stage
to what it was before.
Wow. That's quite a while. How high do you think, like, were you pretty elevated when you jumped to 400, 600, a gram a day of so? Do you feel like you were pretty floaty out of your body for a while?
As far as the high kind of thing?
Yeah, how was the high for you?
When I first started, like back in 2013, when I first started taking it, it affected me hardcore. Like 5 years later, 10 years later, it doesn't affect me as much, at all.
Pretty mild.
You can go do a full days of stuff on a gram or like throughout your normal dose.
It's like chugging a little tincture bottle.
Yeah, because I do like 200 milligrams at a time, like 5 times a day.
Okay,
kind of thing. Yeah. Like right now it's 3 to 5 times, like 600 to 1,000 milligrams. But
PRN.
But when I first started, like just that little, because it was in the syringes. I put it into capsules and tinctures to make it easy for people, and so they could do exact doses.
Mm-hmm.
But I was getting in the syringes, and that little grain of rice thing that you hear about, like to start off with. Like it blew me out. Like I'd be driving, and all of a sudden, like I had to pull over, like
you're like, I'm in space. Oh shit, I need to park.
Yeah, it was funny.
So now it's pretty on that side, the psychoactive side. It's almost negligible.
Yeah, it just makes it just grounds me,
Yeah,
that's why I love cannabis so much. It's because like it centers me, like it. Before I started smoking marijuana, I would get like angry and stuff like that really easy, and and when I was able to start smoking marijuana, then it helped me like to calm down. Before I'd have to listen to like a Pink Floyd album or something,
Yeah. Only one. Wow. Sometimes I'm 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're just, and it's cool too, because like even if I don't get a smoke that day or for a few days, like it doesn't put me in a bad place. I'm still me. I've just learned how to be able to taper myself back. Like, I don't need to get mad about stupid shit all the time. It just, it's like my old man. He's always upset. He's always upset. I'm like, why are you upset? He's like, I don't know.
There's always something to be mad at.
You need to smoke some weed.
But
that definitely, like, no, man, I love that. And I feel for you, man, because that's, and it's awesome that you recognize, like, the therapeutic amount is not going to be on the bottle for something like this. Like, this is aggressive that you went after it. And with that, so you created this product. You have several different products, but you created this Rick Simpson oil. When did you start thinking about selling it to other people?
Well, when those guys started messing up the formulation, and I had to start making it myself, that's when, and it was right before it went legal recreationally in California, and it was still just, you had to still have the card. Mm-hmm. And I would have preferred it stayed like that, because things got weird after that. But yeah, right then, because I knew I had to start the company because I couldn't risk having somebody else make it for me and start messing up again. Because I don't want to go blind and go through that year-long process again, So I started. So I had a necessity. I started the cannabis company. I've had MyFit Life since 2001, right? And then Movida is the cannabis company, and Movida is Spanglish for more life, right? Because I couldn't get what I wanted for MyFit Life. I could help other people get healthy, but I couldn't help myself. And then Movida, was what I needed, and here we are today.
Dude, that's cool. I like that. I like that story too, and that's a good name. That's a really good name. I love those those. I literally names.
I thought it up on the way home from my meeting my friend at that Target parking lot, because I was like, I'm getting material, but I need oil now. I need a ton of it. We're the biggest oil manufacturers in the United States. We'll supply you all you need. I talked to the CEO, of the company, but like later on, but like on my way home from there, I was like, man, I gotta start a company. What's the name of the company? And I thought it up on the way home.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And it's so how the company in your story, you developed this over 17 years, which you've taken us pretty much through that, where it was just this whole long process over there. Then you spent 4 years developing other products. You've got it out there. You have a claim over there of 12,000 people that you've been able to help. Tell us a couple of the stories that really stood out to you.
Okay, so one of them is this woman named Patty. She came to me. I was speaking because I've never done advertisements, like, so I was just customers through speaking engagements and stuff. So I was speaking at this sort of like a CrossFit style gym in Cypress, California, and there was this woman, in the audience. She had a scarf on her head, and she had a friend with her. After the seminar was over, she came up to me and said, "Hey, I watched all your videos, all those Home Hope videos, and I know you could help me." She goes, I found out she had stage 4 cancer, pancreatic cancer, which is like the most hardcore cancer there is, inoperable, sent home with 2 months to live, right? And so she goes, I know you could help me. And she had a smile on her face, and I was like, it's frail, but smile on her face. And I was like, I'll do my best. I can't guarantee anything, but I'll do my absolute best to help you. And, so gave her, so I have a high CBD version that I created, so people could take it during the day and not get high, and they could take the high THC version at night. So she enjoyed that version better, and only did that version, and the Shilajit and this other stuff called MSM, and some food protocols. And fast forward about 8 months, so she survived past the 2 months, right? And she goes to the doctor with her daughter because her daughter was sick, and the doctor says, "Who are you?" And she goes, "I'm Patty." And he goes, "I thought you were dead." And she goes, "I'm still here."
That's so fucked up. Wait, I thought you were dead. Shit, I should have been billing you.
Right? Oh, I wrote that off. Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he actually took that as an opportunity to put her on some more medication and whatever. But she was able to overcome and live a vibrant life. And her friend that took her there that day, like in 2023, like 5 years later, because that was 2018. And in 2023, I received this email from her friend saying, "Hey, I'm Patty's friend, and you, that day that I met you, I didn't know if she was going to be able to get any help, but she did. And thank you so much. She goes, because you didn't just make her survive, you helped her to thrive. I was able to go out with her, go to the movies, go to dinner. I have my friend back. Thank you so much. And I was like, holy shit, tears coming down, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it's crazy to see the impact that it can drastically have on people's lives. There's someone even that we've helped get access to edibles. She's got crazy bone spurs all up and down her spine and stuff. And she went from
being
feeling
on
like
hospice
and feeling like she was on the way out, no quality of life, no movement, and that to where now she's actually moving, smiling, laughing, doing stuff. Like her son
she's
feels
walking
like
around.
she's got a life, like he's got a mom again, versus just he's taking care of someone who's about to pass. And it's a whole different experience to gain that quality of life.
But
yeah.
And the other thing, what I love about your story, man, because I'm gonna tell you the truth, Al. I came with guns loaded. I'm like, another guy telling me CBD stories, motherfucker. And what I got was this awesome story of, hey, you want to make a change, you're going to have to be as aggressive as what's coming after your life. And you can't take it lightly. When, for instance, your price points, because the price points for me, I was just like, because we've met all those guys. We've met a bunch of like, yeah, it's a good product, but that's a lot of money you're asking for it. But I love this because it doesn't just come with that part. When working with your company and Movida, both companies, right? But there's a synergistic pattern there. You didn't just send her off with like, here's some oil, best of luck. Don't worry, put it on auto ship. Like you gave her a protocol. You understood that this is not something that, just like you said before, you're like, oh, I had a little CBD, my back pain's gone. Like, yeah, whatever. That was just like a strained muscle. You want to talk about back pain, talk about this guy, with a cracked disc, and every day sitting, standing, doesn't matter. It's pain. And
yeah,
so,
but I feel like mine's mild in comparison to so many other people who
I
have
know.
like way worse shit. Mine's just bad for me.
But I love that.
And for people who have less chronic pain than I do.
Yeah. But I mean, this woman comes to you. She's in so much inflammation, so much pain, and they prescribe her no hope. And you're like, hey, we'll give it a try. And I love that because you understand that everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. It'll respond differently. But if you go aggressive and you take your story, I mean, I'd be like, yeah, constantly. I would see like a doomsday bunker full of oil that you would have going, yeah, I just put this shit a spigot right here and I just pour it and because I mean, that makes sense.
Constant
because
IV
you
drip.
realized, it's like the rest of us going, oh, that's a lot of, well, how much water do you drink a day? How much soda do you drink a day? Like
How many bags of chips do you eat a day?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's like, when you're talking about excess, like excess isn't necessarily this something to skirt away from. When something is strong coming at you, man, you got to meet it head on. You can't do it like, oh, stop it. Because that's what they're doing when you're taking these small doses and not understanding that you got to go after it. Like what chemotherapy would do. It's hardcore. It just kills everything though, right? This is awesome. I mean, you got another one?
I call it doing a full frontal assault, right? Like because they're warriors, trying to take you down, and the medical thought is the least effective dose because their stuff is so fucked up, right? And it has so many side effects, but cannabis only has side benefits, right? So that's why we could do the macro dosing. But yeah, there's this one woman. I just thought of her. I haven't thought of her in a long time, but she was in Gardena, California, and she had like a leukemia, and like later stages and stuff like that. And we have like a cannabis caregiver that works with me was giving her the protocols and stuff like that to go. And this caregiver is so friggin' awesome. Like she actually goes to the people's houses. If the people want to go to the hospital to get surgery, she's in the surgery with them, making sure their wishes are taken care of. We actually got Movida on the chart as to give in doses for the doses and shit like that. But this woman, in Gardena, she started having, like, along with the leukemia, anal leakage, right? So she had started having to wear diapers and shit, and like she lost all her self-respect. She says, I'm not leaving the house anymore. I don't want to have an accident while I'm out in the market or somewhere else. I can't do that to myself. And so she was just depressed in her house. She started taking the high CBD version of our RSO. And in less than 30 days, her anal leakage stopped. And they told her that there is no cure for that. The doctor said there is no cure. You're going to be like that for the rest of your life. And she overcame her leukemia and did all that good shit, you know.
Yeah.
But like I'm sort of used to those stories now. Not everybody has success, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
But we have a good majority that do. But what happened to her, the the self-respect that she got back, like I'm able to leave my house now. I have bring my dignity back. All this stuff, like that was so powerful. It was amazing, and
Yeah,
and
you
like, it was unexpected too. Like I didn't think that it would help that, you know, but it did.
No, not
Dude,
at
that's
all.
such a cool story. I mean, you know, usually it does. It goes to cancer, but you went from leukemia to anal leakage. And for me, all I was thinking, I'm like, dude, that would be horrible.
That'd be a shitty experience. No pun intended.
But I mean,
like,
you couldn't, you would literally have to
Truly.
get rubber furniture.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Or
and
like
you
wear
just,
diapers. And
Yeah, all the
is it,
time.
as an adult, like, you know, that's not got to be, like you said, the respect that you lose almost for yourself
no,
and the
you'd
dignity.
have
Like,
more respect just getting
Yeah.
a colostomy bag at that point, because
that's
it's
so
like, and then what quality of life is that? That's amazing, because it's so cool to know that you have protocols that you put in place. It's not just something you sell off the shelf. Like, this is prescribed. You're looking at it based off of the evidence that you've been able to see. And I love what you said, man. You're like, it doesn't work for everybody. Exactly. Cannabis is not a miracle cure, but it should be definitely explored, because you just have so many great accounts of things like that. That's so
And
cool.
one thing that we do too is, like, so since you're talking about that, we do free consults. We do free consultations and develop protocols for the people that, you know, that have the conditions, because we don't have any like recreational stuff over here. Every client we have, it has some kind of condition going on, so they get their protocols. If they need adjustments for the protocol, they do consultations again, and we do that for free. And when they overcome, then you go into a maintenance phase so the situation doesn't come back, right?
Yeah.
And then we help them to lower into that dosage too, you know, because you don't, like with cancer, you don't do 1,000 milligrams for the rest of your life. You know, you overcome the situation, you know, and at certain points you could even go down into 600, 800. With them in maintenance, you go down to like 100 to 200 milligrams, you know, depending on who you are and how you react to it.
do you ever feel like you are walking a tightrope between healer and hustler?
No,
Cool.
I was like, I know the
I'm-
cannabis space is kind of,
Yeah. You got a lot of shiesty people in there who, I mean, our biggest complaint of whenever we want to like sponsor or work with a company, we're just like, dude, I'm not going to trust them if they don't understand or use cannabis. Like, I mean, it means that we're being very biased and a bit racist in a way. Non-cannabis user, get away from me. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's
I'm the same way, because it is incredible the amount of people in the cannabis industry, like CEOs of cannabis companies, that
won't even touch it.
don't smoke. Yeah, it's crazy. They're just corporate guys. I've been offered like you know, like investment, like all kinds of stuff, like the $1 million investment, like several times, over a dozen times, and I just throw their shit in the trash can. Say, like, what can you do for my business besides money? Because we can get money from anywhere. Like what can you do to help grow my business? And they can never answer the question. You know, it's like fuck you guys.
Well, they can always throw more money at it. That's usually what they're good at. Is like, hey, we've got money. Money solves problems. Just you figure it out. Here's some money.
I had some this friend. Her and her partner, they did RSO, like, and she was a really good maker of RSO, you know, because I extract, I formulate, I do everything, right? So she did so well, and they gave her, I forget what it was, like 17 million or something, to, you know, to buy into her company. And she had the dreadlocks, really beautiful girl, you know, and she just became like this showpiece. And I got at shows, they took away the RSO, just started doing vapes and dabs and stuff. And she had no control over the business. And after I saw that, I was like, no way,
Yeah.
I'm keeping control, you know. So even now, like with the grow situations, all the over hybridization, that's going on, so we even
Yeah.
started with the high THC stuff. We do all the grow in house now, because so we have like heirloom variety strains, like these old school strains,
Genetic lines.
yeah, supposedly and never been hybridized ever. It's like the purest indica, which is basically like an Afghan Kush, and Northern Lights #1, Skunk #2, and Granddaddy Purple crossed with the purest indica. That's what we're growing right now.
Whoa.
That's fantastic. Those are all such
those
delicious
all-
strains. I've not had Northern
They all
Lights
made my
number
mouth
one.
go dry.
I know. I love Northern Lights. That one was amazing. I've had number 7. I don't think I've had number
Oh
1.
my gosh.
But
Yeah, Northern Lights was. I had it in that vape pen. That was so weird. It was weird. It was probably just a bad disty. That's more than likely what it was. But yeah, oh man, I just love this because
has there been a moment that you've said, "Screw this, I'm done"?
With cannabis,
no with
this whole journey,
with the business and everything like that. Like, is it a pain or is it a blessing?
the business itself is so rough. Like especially like they're trying to make CBD illegal. Again, they just took it out the verbiage out of the ag bill. But if it would have passed with that verbiage in there, it just happened like 2 days ago, Tuesday. Today's Thursday. So where Rand Paul took the verbiage out of that ag bill, to where 95% of the CBD on the market would have been illegal if it would have passed.
Yeah.
So, but like merchant accounts getting shut down, like in 2023, just 2 years ago, 5 months out of the 12, merchant account was shut down.
Oh wow.
And bank account frozen, just for whatever reason. Like, I had everything, C of A's, everything, and we're just like, oh, we blah blah blah, like no warnings, nothing. So it's difficult, but I don't trust anybody to have the good stuff, right? Because people falter, people fail, but I never do. I've been doing this stuff. I've sold over 1 million pounds cannabis flower in my lifetime. Like did it coast to coast when I was younger, and today, like we have like fucking the baddest shit on the planet, and same thing with the food, same thing with the programs, everything is the best of the best because people depend on me. People tell me, what am I gonna do if you die? Like if I die, because they tried other CBD, they tried other stuff, but it's not. People don't understand holistic health, Like most cannabis companies, most CBD CEOs and shit, they used to be like a welder or a fucking teacher or something. I've been in holistic health my entire life since 1987. I've written books, on better living with whole foods. Like the 21-day reset, cleansing and detoxification program since 2003. That over 12,000 people alone have been through that program. Able way of life. Which is a lifestyle program. Like all this stuff. It's my entire life. It's not something. It's not a joke to me.
Yeah, it's not something you do and then it's jet set or going out where these people on the outside going, oh, these cannabis people probably just do whatever they want. Like, no, they really are in the business. They're in every part of it, because like you said, this is important what you do. When people are saying that, you're like, they depend upon me. And it's awesome because, you're leaving a legacy. You've got formulations that you've been working with team and how you're being able to prescribe exactly how to be as aggressive as you need to be or when you need to taper off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I even just made a bunch of protocols, about a dozen of them for like cancer, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, anxiety, sleep and stuff. And I'm just finalizing right now. I made these like landing pages where people will be able to download them for free. There's just like
cool.
whatever condition they have, they could download it, and it has like how to ramp up, start small, ramp up each day, and how much to take, throughout the day and stuff like that.
That's fantastic. Well, make sure we have those links there so you guys can go check
everybody,
that
you'll
out.
have all the links to be able to, we got to figure out how to, we partner with you. Cause this is by far some of the coolest things that I've heard in this space, where CBD constantly is given this cure-all feel, but it's a cure-all feel at like 25 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
It's like what are you getting? It's like the same shit they sell in GNC for kids who want to get buff. And they're like, oh yeah, take this powder and this powder. This will make you retain water. This will make you feel bloated. And yeah, take all these things. You'll look big, but that's just it's feeding them full of nonsense, right? It's not giving them the real dosing that you need to do in order to see something really come from your efforts. And so with these protocols, and you've obviously been able to utilize it with yourself and many other people. And you do speaking engagement. Where do you do speaking?
All over. A lot of it's on the web now. These days. But I'm going to be doing in November. There's in Quartzsite, Arizona. There's the international like truth movement or something like that, or truth conference. Like a bunch of truthers, like the anti-COVID. And all those kind of people are going to be there. So so those guys are super famous. So maybe on the same stage as them is going to be cool. So. We just talked to the organizer yesterday, and I'm going to be on there and have a little presence there as well. So, but we do things like that, things in cannabis, and then also just with health, and then that truther thing. Like they really loved me for some reason. Like spoke a couple of years ago at the Question Everything conference, which was the same kind of thing.
Oh, cool!
And like it was like the most attended I was the most attended speaker or whatever.
Dude,
so it was really interesting. It was crazy. They were interested in that because everybody talks about the problem, but nobody talks about solutions, and that's what I have is solutions.
Well, it's usually because you have to reverse engineer it, right? That the solution doesn't come because the CEO said, "Here's our quarterly numbers. We need to create something new to get that going up higher." Right? You went through this insanely horrible process, told as a kid, like, hey, you got glaucoma. And you're like, all right, I got glaucoma. And they're like, oh, he looks fine to me. The boy plays. Nothing wrong. Let him go, right? And then you get hit with this. I think it's even more terrifying, the story you got, from what I've heard from people who've lost their sight. It's absolutely horrifying, but you got it back and then you lost it again. And then it took a long time to get it back to where it is now. And so you're like, I don't play around. And you created multiple systems going, okay, this works better than this. If I pair it with this type of lifestyle, like you've really put so much effort in being made sure that you were fixing your own problem, which is usually when the best products, I think, that come out and the best programs are those that are created by reverse engineering because you were in some shit and you needed to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the one cool thing about me is being like a holistic health practitioner even before you did the cannabis oil. So I was doing that for over a decade before that, right? So I know how to work with a variety of people that react differently even they react differently than I do to certain things, So certain people that like they discover like this worked for me and they want to have everybody else do it. They're like a one-trick pony, but because they weren't a holistic health practitioner before or any kind of practitioner before. I understand how things react to certain different people and how to adjust, when they have certain reactions to it, So it's that's why we have so much success. It's not just the product. The product's like badass, but having that knowledge, is super key as well. Like understanding how people react to certain things and how to adjust to it if something like doesn't work or works too well or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it does, dude. I mean, I'm comparing you to like a Formula One racer right now. And the only reason why I'm saying this, I watched this movie last night, Rush. Have you seen that one? It's about these two competitors. Anyways, but the way you were talking about that, man, made me think about how these drivers see everything. Like it becomes you're so in tune with it. It can't be just something you passively do, right? Like everybody drives a car, everybody makes CBD oil, but when you are in it for a purpose, it totally changes everything. So that's why You know, and I am not. I mean, Brandon knows. Like right before, I'm like, I'm ready to hit him. I'm gonna give this guy. You know, I'm
He's like,
gonna
can I ask all these questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna get him. And you just start talking, and I'm like, shit, you're not a snake oil salesman. I'm so excited because I have no questions, and I'm gonna just think them up, and that's cool. That's really cool because we pride ourselves on making sure that we make those connections. And for our audience, because these are cannabis consumer, over 70% of them use CBD daily. I am just, and if they're using it daily, are they using it correctly? Are they using it for the dosing based on what's going on with them?
Do they get the benefits that they are actually
Yeah.
needing out of the product that they're using? Are they even dosing accurately for what they're needing? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have the amount.
Yeah.
Like if you went to the pharmacy and you get that script and they're like, give me 90 days, you're going to get a bunch of pill bottles, right? I mean, they know they're dosing it for that. But when you're getting a tincture that's like $70 from who knows who, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, Sally, whatever her name, the movie star uses it. And that doesn't work. Not in the cannabis world. People go, I hate that woman. Right? I mean, it's something like that. So, man, I just love your story, brother. I really do.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You know, and one of the things that I'm sure you guys know too is that like over 90%, like probably 99% of the especially CBD companies out there, their stuff's white labeled. You know, they don't do anything in house. They're just marketing companies.
Yeah,
You know?
there's only just a few that actually produce their own.
Like our stuff costs like because we deal with as far as for the hemp CBD side, we deal with farms that they're not doesn't really matter, but they are USDA organic certified and stuff like that. And it's like a co-op of farms, 13 farms. And but yeah, like they grow like beyond organic, biodynamic, all kinds of stuff. You know, it's really super awesome. But I pay them 6 to 10 times more than average market price for my stuff. Like if something costs like $1 a gram, I'm paying $6 to $10 a gram for it. Like it's just as for easy math, and it has to do with quality and purity. Like everything matters from the seed to the soil to nothing's done hydroponically. Everything's in soil, but like everything. I call it from soil to oil. Like everything matters.
It does.
Oh,
yeah, because
absolutely.
everything changes the whole process through. So.
Well, and it changes such to the quality. Like, I mean, it's just like anything on flower now. Like, that's why I think the biggest change you could see from when you were first using cannabis to now is we've all become canna snobs. I mean, I'm like, I don't know, what kind of strain is that? Where was it grown? I want to know those things. Like we talk about this all the time. If somebody's like, hey, you want to join? Like, yeah, what do you got in there? Like, oh, I don't know. It's like, pass. I'm good. I don't need to fuck my day up with some swag weed.
Yeah. Al, when was the last time you were wrong about something that you were sure of in this space?
That I was wrong about. I'm not sure because when I started the Movida oil company, I went for strictly oil, and everybody tried to have me because they know how good I am, because of the organic foods, that I would be good with farming, and I was literally offered farms and everything, like you don't have to do shit, just fucking do your thing, and I refused all of it because I knew that flour was going to get commoditized, and oil was going to be the thing. So I went for that, and I was right about it, because the flour is commoditized now,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've and that's all I do, So I didn't try to do like a bunch of different things. So I got that right, and I was lucky. So
That's spot on. I mean, yeah.
Like before, when it was scarce, when I used to sell flour, like through the 90s and early 2000s, like coast to coast, that's flour was the thing. It was hard to get the badass shit, and I was able to. I was able to lock down growers and buy out their farms before they even planted them. And all that kind of stuff. So I had lockdown on shit, but there was so many people growing. I was like, when it became legal recreationally, like screw that.
Yeah.
What was the biggest change you noticed between the medical market to your recreational market where you're at?
The
Well,
commoditization, right?
yeah, and then the dispensaries changed. You know, like because especially in California, like before when it was all medical based, like you walk in and there were there were jars like this, and they were full of bud, and you buy like an eighth or a quarter or, or an ounce or whatever, and it was all badass stuff. It wasn't like it was freshly grown. And they just pull it out, and they'd weigh it there right in front of you. You could pick it up. You could touch it. You could smell it, and you can't do that now. None of that. Sometimes you can't even see the weed. It's in the if you're buying smaller
Yeah.
amounts.
Yep.
I remember
It's crazy.
even shopping Colorado's recreational market when I first would go out prior to COVID time, when I used to drive to Denver or wherever, they'd do the same thing. They'd pull out the jar. It's all in jars. They'd weigh out in front of you. You could smell it. I wasn't able to hold it, but I could smell it. I could see it. Like what do you want to smell? I'm curious about this one. They'd pull down the jar. Here, smell this one.
I remember that when we went to Dinosaur.
Whole different experience now, like you said. And then you're getting these. Oh, well, I want this. Okay, well, everything's prepackaged. It's in glass. It's already sealed. Like where we're at, everything's already sealed, whether it's an eighth, a quarter, or an ounce. Like you order it off of the iPad. And yeah, there might be a display case out with little things that you could see some of it, but it's not the same experience. It's nothing like it used to be.
Yeah, and today they almost feel like they're doing you a favor or something by selling you weed or something.
Right? Yeah.
And I heard in one of your podcasts. You only have like 13.
Yeah, 13 across the state. And because of the way our state is done, there's I-15 that runs north and south down the center of the state. And all of them are right along that. Now, because of the law here, you're not allowed to grow your own. And originally, when the people put in the law and there was enough signatures to put it in for the ballot initiative on Prop 2, they had that you could home grow if you were more than 100 miles from any pharmacy. But then because Evan Vickers, he's one of the largest profiteers of opiates or pharmaceuticals in the state of Utah. Well, he's also a legislator and has big hands in that. He went through and him and the Mormon church kind of swayed, and a lot of other businesses swayed to pull that out and change a lot of the wording and phrasing that was allowed there. So now there's no flame to flower because Utah's weird and special, and they've got fear that smoking it will bring Satan or is bad for your lungs or something.
It's too related to cigarettes.
Yeah, so
whatever.
They have a thing around that, but they changed all of it, and so it went from Prop 2 to there. So we've got
so much nicer.
a handful of dispensaries right down I-15, but there's tons of people all in rural Utah, way away from any of that,
far away,
who have no access to it. And even in Utah County, which probably has 500,000 people in Utah County.
Yeah, and they have
more than 500,000. No, because we've got a bunch of bigger cities now.
Yeah.
Probably close to 1 million people in Utah County. They pulled one of the few dispensaries up to Salt Lake County because they thought they'd get better sales up there. But because of the way the licenses and the restrictions are set up, well, we can't have just another pharmacy pop up or come here because there's only a restricted number of licenses. So that means that this county is just down to more dispersed ones that are further away.
Now they have to drive 90 minutes
to get to a pharmacy to get their medication. Like it's just we have a very screwy medical program here still, that they are a lot of fearful people who don't understand cannabis are on the board for cannabis to control, probably like most states, how everything goes. And so it's ridiculous because we go into the discussions and it's a lot of fear on like, oh, we need to control the names. We need to change the names because the names that are out there are
Sound
just...
like kids might like it.
You're the new kid on the block. Why do you feel like you should have a change or a hand in the naming of any strain that has been around for centuries, not just your...
Well, I understand on some of them, like Alaskan Thunderfuck.
I get it. Yeah, they get they choose to be offended by that. 100%.
I mean, if you have it in a good... I've only had that in a pen. I've always wanted to try that in flower. You ever try that before, Al?
Oh yeah, like way back in the day, ATF. Yep. Last November. Yeah. Yeah. That stuff was really good for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I love that.
It's very interesting. If someone were to come to you and just say, hey, Al, you're just another guy selling hope in a bottle, how do you respond?
You're right.
More than I thought I would.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome. Because that's all it is, right? I mean, it's faith and hope. If you really are going to try to do something to make a change, you can't just dip your toe in. You really got to get in there because there's no change made with tiny little steps. And so,
I like with those protocols, especially with the cancer ones. Like I have videos that go along with them and explain the protocol, and it's literally like you have to be a fucking warrior and know that you're gonna beat this shit. If you don't have that attitude, then you may as well not even do this. You know,
Yeah.
But like you said, you don't dip your toe in the water and like don't like explore all avenues and all this kind of stuff. You know, like follow like 10 different protocols. You follow a protocol from somebody that has like things that are proven to work, you know, and do it, go all in. You know, it's the same thing with business, right? Like you don't follow, 10 different business guys.
Models all at the same time.
Yeah. You'll never go anywhere. You know, like you'll just be spinning around in circles. So you follow one guy's stuff, get the benefit, go to the other, whatever. If you don't get the benefit, go to someone else, whatever. But like follow protocols, and be patient, persistent, and consistent with your efforts. That's how you get better.
I like that. That is something that really needs to be said, especially for those who are using it beyond just more as a supplement, which is that's awesome. That's so awesome. But when you're making a big change, you've tried a lot of other things. I mean, you're meeting a lot of desperate people that are like, I got nothing. This is what they told me.
Yeah, it's crazy because like you said, like a lot of the people that come to me for whatever reason they're older. Because I'm 59 years old, right? So I track that age group, I guess, and maybe a little bit older too. But they're scared of cannabis, by the time they come to me, like they've gone through everything, and I'm almost the last hope a lot of times, like you said, and it's sort of sucks because if they come to you earlier, then it's easier time, for everybody.
Would you say that's probably by far the most difficult thing is the education?
Yeah, that's why I have the YouTube channel. Because with I have a ton of RSO videos, and, some with like 30, 40,000 views and stuff like that. It's not a ton, but for cannabis, it is,
Yeah, it is. We know all about that. Or like, we'll tell people our stats about our podcast and they're like, oh yeah. And we're like, no, it's just in the cannabis market. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
People don't understand.
Yeah. Then they go, oh, okay. I'm like, we're taking a small niche market and we're really right at the top. So it's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Al, if you were to leave one thing with our audience today, what would that be?
If you're going to be using cannabis to try to overcome a chronic condition for yourself or for a loved one, make sure that you go to someone that has proven success, like proven quality of oil, and then either that person or go to another person like a cannabis caregiver that has protocols that have been proven to work. And when you like when I say proven to work, like for instance with cancer, try to talk to the people that they've helped, right? Because when you do that with doctors, they can't do that because the people are dead. So if you could talk to if they have living people that they can talk to, then they're golden. But yeah. Quality oil, quality protocols.
And they can get all these, they can order oils from you directly, correct?
Yeah. They could schedule consultations from the homepage of the website, for free, stuff like that. There's links.
That's so cool.
We'll make sure we have all the links below.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Al, thank you so much for coming on the show, having a sesh with us, learning about you. Such a cool story, man. Such a cool story.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the listeners.
Yeah. Enjoy your day, man. Yeah. This was a blast. Thanks for coming on the show.
All right, everybody, go ahead and check out the links down below.
Catch you next week.
Yeah. Take care.